you mentioned the company you work for was the telco wireless sort of company that you worked for 15 years. You did the 2 D365 implementations there. So, obviously there's I imagine a heavy field service component to that piece of it, and managing mobile assets and that sort of thing. But is that generally the type of client that you see here at Third Stage going towards or gravitating toward D365 or implementing D365, or do you see other types of clients, or what kinds of clients are using the product most likely?
So right now I'm directly on a project with a client of ours that's in the distribution space, industrial distribution. So no field service at all, but very heavy on material planning, 11 warehouses throughout the generally southeast United States, and lots of small parts, right? So heavy warehouse management application use there. And they're probably 3 or 4 months away from a go live, right? So we're getting very close, and but that's a different type of D365 use. I've also seen completely different industry, property management, right? I've seen a couple different ones of those, one being a real estate firm and another one being a property management company that manages rentals, long-term leases for commercial properties and construction projects, all going to D365.
Yeah, that's interesting. A lot of variety in the types of companies that are using the product.
Absolutely. Yep.
What are some of the pros and cons of D365? And just to clarify for the audience too, and just for this conversation, when we say we're talking about D365, we're talking about the finance and operations, the F&O version of D365. But what would you say the main pros and cons of F&O are in general, with your experience both on the customer side as well as here on the consulting side?
Well, I think what could be considered a pro and a con is the high configurability of D365. There are just so many different ways the system can be configured in every conceivable module. Now, that's good because, as I said, I've seen it in vastly different industries and used well, but that configuration takes time, right? And takes time and costs money on the consultant side to get you through that journey of exactly how you're going to set up the system.
Yeah. We do tell clients that a lot. I mean, it's interesting because on the software selection side of our business, when we're evaluating D365, that's one of the things that draws people to the product is how flexible it is and how open it is. But it's also a slippery slope. It seems like, just because you can configure the software doesn't always mean you should. And so, how do you differentiate between the things you should be or ought to be configuring versus the things that you're just doing it because you can, not because you should?
Yeah, exactly. And, when you get into a D365 implementation and you hear the terms are out of the box, right, that can be a bit of a misnomer because, it's out of the box if I spend 10 hours configuring everything you want it to do. But yes, that's out of the box. I don't have to crack the code open to do anything different, but I do need to set up many configurations to make it work for the, whatever your business process that you're describing is. Yeah.
So in other words, you don't just turn it on and it just has the industry pre-configuration already done. It's just you have the option to create the configuration. Is that what you're saying?
Right. That's right. It really doesn't push you towards a best practice. It allows for many different ways to get a singular process done.
Yeah.